Hello traders and welcome back to the GFT YouTube channel. Today we are joined with one of our funded traders, Craig, and he is going to share his journey so far on his trading journey with us all. So Craig, if you could just briefly introduce yourself to our audience and a bit of background about yourself.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm Craig, I'm from Birmingham. Started trading I would say about 3 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago. Initially started learning the basics, and then I learned something called ICT. So through the years of doing ICT content, it wasn't kind of working for me, and it kind of didn't match with the way that I trade and the way, or that I thought I wanted to trade at the time. I worked by logic, and I didn't understand how daily bias could be formed, um, and so unsure. I wouldn't say formed, how people were so unsure. Um, I thought everything should be a bit more clearer, so I searched for more answers. I wasn't really profitable at the time for a while, and then I came across fundamental analysis and a another YouTuber called Trader Nick.
Yeah.
And yeah, he kind of like went through a few of his things, learned some fundamental analysis. Um, that kind of resonated more with me as a person that I like to use logic, and it
Yeah.
helped me understand that obviously technicals can work, but if you combine that with some fundamental analysis, it can give you a better edge, or at least for me it did.
Okay.
So I kind of got into that, yeah.
Yeah. So you transitioned from ICT concepts because they didn't really suit your personality as a trader, and then you obviously transitioned into fundamental analysis as it made more sense to you and it had more
Yeah,
logic placed behind
yeah,
your trades, which made you more comfortable taking these setups.
correct. That's correct, yeah.
Okay. Did you ever try to combine the fundamental analysis with the ICT concepts, or did you just go full straight into fundamental analysis? Because I find this quite interesting because I trade ICT concepts myself personally. So to see someone that tried it out and it didn't work for them and then transitioned into fundamental analysis, I kind of find it very interesting. But I can see why, because obviously we all have different personalities as traders and as individuals. So not every strategy and every edge is going to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
So have you tried to combine the two, or did you just go all in on the fundamental?
So I didn't try and combine the two. I kind of went with straight fundamentals with basic technical analysis as well. So
Okay.
I kind of used the fundamental analysis to kind of choose the pairs that I want to trade in the direction. And then after that, I went straight with basic, literally support and resistance levels,
Okay.
things like average true range combined with that. Um, and then the only thing I will say that I did, I won't call this an ICT concept per se, that kind of helps is just the New York time, London time open and close. And those obviously are the times where there is most volatility.
Well,
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
agree with that. But I think that's just a general time when the market's open anyway. But yeah, I never tried combining it because I didn't think they kind of made sense. I didn't think it was as important, the technicals, once I got the fundamental
Yeah.
aspect. For
It
me,
could
at least.
overcomplicate the process as well, couldn't it?
Yeah,
Really, trying to
simplicity
simplify the
is there.
process.
Yeah, yeah,
Makes sense. So
yeah.
what would you say your biggest obstacle on your trading journey has been so far? Like the adversities that you've had to overcome?
So I'd say adversities I've had to overcome is basically I've had to learn that no matter what your strategy is, no matter what you do, sometimes you can do everything perfect and you'll still lose the trade.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's having patience, and patience can be a difficult thing in trading. Everybody knows about managing emotions, but I have an interesting thought in regards to psychology. I think psychology is very important, but I think psychology without having an edge and without having a strategy, you could have the best psychology in the world. You could only take what you class as A plus setups, but if your strategy isn't back tested and doesn't work, then the psychology doesn't matter. Psychology only matters I learned that psychology only matters after you have a true understanding of the market. So I had to learn to be patient, and then accept even when I did lose. It's not always a reason. Um, I feel like with fundamentals, there usually can be a reason, but even then, there's not always a reason. And I think that's why I kind of struggled with the ICT concept as well. It's almost like there's there were so many concepts that one's bound to. You can look at a chart and be like, oh, so here's the fair value gap here. Oh, I should have took this one, or I should have took this order block, and I think it just became too complex. So it's just accepting no matter your strategy, you're gonna lose at times, and as long as you win more than you lose, you're gonna be profitable.
Yeah, so you're basically saying that, like with trading, losses are a part of the game and they're going to happen regardless, even if you have the most perfect strategy in the world or you consider yourself to
Yeah,
be a very amazing trader, you're still going to take losses. And
yeah,
it's about how you obviously react to them losses determines your success. And then obviously touching up on your point in regards to the psychological aspect, I completely agree. If you don't have an edge, then what are you even using your psychology for? Do you know what I mean? So obviously the best thing to focus on first is gathering an edge over the market, back testing it, then forward testing it, gaining some consistency, then jumping on a live account, funded
agreed.
account, whatever it is, and then obviously focus on the psychological aspect. So yeah, I completely agree with that. So that's a great one. So what would you say your next goal is within your trading journey? Like what level are you trying to get to next? Where are you trying to take things?
That's a great question. I've been very safe, so I've always like since getting consistent, I've only gone for the 5K accounts. So I think that's because my personality is I'm quite a safe person, and until I thought to myself, until I pass um like 10 challenges, then I'd go straight to 100K. At the moment, I've been lucky, not lucky, it's skill, but also blessed, I would say is the word, as a Christian, to have passed. Well, I have 4 funded accounts at the moment. They're all 5K, but when I get to 10, then and I have them right now. They're still current. When I get to 10, I'm gonna go straight to the 10K because I'll be overconfident then that I can then get 100K, and then I'll have proven even more profitability, the ability to sustain the funded account, and the ability to risk manage. So then I'll know I'll be more than ready for the 100K, and I'll continue to compound from them. But I'm also aware that my advice would be to people that trading is amazing, but for me, wouldn't have it as ever as my main source of income, because that can then add pressure to you and affect you psychologically too. So I think if you have another job and then trade and you're great at trading, and then maybe you invest in maybe bonds and yield something as well, or stocks on top of that, and multiple sources, that is what I would advise as well. So yeah, that's my next
Yeah.
goal, is to get 100K eventually after passing a few more challenges.
Okay, so your approach is quite interesting. So instead of putting all of your eggs into one basket, you kind of divide them and buy multiple accounts and then scale them up like that rather than
Yeah,
just buying a full 50K account, for example. You'd rather buy 10 5K accounts.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's that.
And what would you say your
That's
main is it that just due to just you say you're more of a conservative trader, you don't want to apply too much risk into these accounts, so you kind of like doing it bit by bit.
I believe that the reason why I'm quite conservative, but I believe be a big part of being funded, not even being funded, but maintaining being funded is good risk management. I believe that if you risk in 0.5%, 1%, like max, um, then I believe that over time, yeah, you'd rather build slowly than say risk 2%, and then next thing you know, you risk another two, and then you've broken your daily drawdown,
Yeah,
or or you lose one via two, or let's say you win 1%, then you win again, and then you're confident on the next one you risk 2, or you risk 3%, and next thing you know you're in drawdown when you were just up. So I think there's no need for me to over risk on my funded accounts. When if I know my strategy is consistent, it will grow. So my thing is all based around patience, trying to build patience. Yeah.
It's a great point, to be fair, because there's a very common quote that I've always remembered within my trading, and it was, the money flows from the impatient trader to the patient trader. And obviously, with my years of experience in the market, I had to learn the hard way, because when I first started the journey, I was just constantly triggering in positions and not actually patiently waiting for a nice high probability setup to present itself. So I was just taking anything I seen, and it obviously caused some erratic results. So until I actually practiced patience, sitting on my hands, that's when I started to actually achieve more success. Because yeah, I realized that with trading, you need to actually learn how to sit on your hands and just sit and wait for the perfect time to strike, rather than constantly trying to force trade setup. So that is a great point, and I do think that will help some of our viewers here today.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this has been a great call. So thank you for joining us, Craig. We really appreciate your tips and your advice and just sharing your journey overall. Is there any last bit of advice you'd give to our traders before leaving here?
Yeah. I would say everybody's journey is different. Take some longer, make it take some quicker, but find things that work for you. Just because I don't do a certain strategy doesn't mean that you shouldn't. There's multiple ways to be profitable. Having said that, if you are looking for any fundamental analysis or to add that to your game, then a few people to look out for on YouTube are a guy called Trader Nick, who's been great, and a guy called Forex James or Bank of James, or also known as Elite Traders. So if you look at them, they can kind of guide you towards learning fundamental analysis. And if you want to combine it with other strategies, it's great. It's been worked for me, and that would be my advice. So I don't know them personally, by the way, so it's not like a plug for me. Just generally, this just being honest.
What's helped you on your journey? Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that, brother. We appreciate that very, very much. And I actually agree with you as well. Not everything works for others. So that's a great point there. So obviously, you always have to take things with a pinch of salt and just try and relate it to your own journey. And if it relates, then obviously run with it.
Yeah, exactly that.
Perfect, Craig. Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure having you on this call today. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.